Last episode saw us win the Carabao Cup and lift our first piece of silverware this season, but the glory doesn't stop there, as today we are in a title fight that is going right down to the wire. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. And following on from that fabulous cup win, the good news just keeps on rolling in, as not only does Enzo Fernandez believe that he's starting to get back to full fitness after being out for such a long injury, but we are greeted with more great news as our other long-term injury, Nottingham Madueke, has officially returned to training and will be 100% fit in a matter of a couple of weeks. And for me, that's quite an important one, as unfortunately Jadon Sancho hasn't quite hit the heights that I would have expected of him since joining the club in the summer. Only 4 goals, and whilst he does have 6 assists, only 4 of them coming in the Premier League, and he hasn't exactly set the world alight, along with the Ukrainian Mudryk, who's only managed to achieve 3 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. It seems like the return of this young man can't come soon enough. However, having failed to beat Liverpool in a huge top-of-the-table clash last episode, unfortunately we've been dragged down to 3rd place, and we now sit 6 points behind them with just 13 games remaining in the season. But after managing to secure a 3-1 away win against Brentford, but only managing to secure a point in a 1-1 draw at home to Newcastle after Sancho missed a penalty in the very first minute, Liverpool have unfortunately been able to pull out a now 8-point lead ahead of us at the top of the table. However, with Madueke now officially returning to training and fully declaring himself match fit and ready to go back into the starting 11, I am ready to throw him right back into the firing line, as he will start here at the Emirates in our game in hand in what is going to be an almighty game at the top of the table against Arsenal Football Club. Into Odegaard, he's been chased and hassled down by Caicedo, but he does manage to get away from him, and now it is Enzo Fernandez starting again in the centre of midfield, who gets done also by Odegaard. He's still got the ball here. He's almost gone past 3 of my players and ends up feeding the ball off to the former Liverpool man, Alexander-Arnold, but he is tackled by Madueke, returning to the starting 11, and now Christopher Nkunku was inches away from releasing Ben Chilwell, and that was a fabulous interception there, or we would have been in down the left-hand side. But Declan Rice now picks it up in the middle of the park, finds Saka on the right-hand side. He's being chased down yet again from Ben Chilwell. End-to-end stuff here in the opening 11 minutes, but eventually Ben Chilwell clears the pressure, and now Madueke can bring it forward. His chance to burst forward, and he finds a ball into Chilwell. He finds Nkunku. Nkunku now trying to go down the left-hand side. He's just crowded out, and in the end it's good defending from Arsenal. Odegaard, nice ball into the path of Alexander-Arnold, and it's Caicedo who comes across well to defend. He does a really good job. Fofana, now over to Reece James, one touch into Raheem Sterling, and we're going to try and release Enzo Fernandez down the right hand side into Nkunku, Nkunku into Sanset in with his left, into the back of the net, 1-0 Chelsea, a devastating counter-attack, and one that the Spaniard Sanset is more than happy to apply the finishing touches to. Well, from one end of the field to the other, fabulous play and a wonderful ball from Nkunku, and an even better finish from Sanset gave the keeper no chance, and on his weaker foot gave us a 1-0 lead at the Emirates. Nkunku holding up and come deep to try and collect the ball and get himself involved. Really good play by the Frenchman, and fires a wicked ball over to Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side. He finds Madueke, who will be desperate to make an impression on his return back to the starting 11. And my word, what a run, what a ball in. No one there to answer it though. Alexander-Arnold into Gabby Jesus. Lovely turn around the corner into Jorginho. Odegaard now plays the ball over to Alexander-Arnold, who was free on the right-hand side, but he was a bit slow and the momentum has just gone out of the attack here. Ben Chilwell's trying to chase him down. Zinchenko skips past my midfield, back into Gabby Jesus. What a save from Costa. Arsenal have a corner here, and since we've scored, they have looked the most likely to score out of the 2 teams. Sterling, though, gives away another Arsenal corner. Looks like they're going to go short once again, and they do just that. Saka trying to go past Sterling. Sterling gets the better of him yet again, though, and now he can try and drive down this left-hand side. Has he got the beating of Saliba for pace? He's just going to smash the ball ahead of him and try and run with it, and he does just that. Continues his run into the box. He's got no one in there. Ramsdale comes across, makes himself big, and Nkunku wasn't making the right angle. Enzo Fernandez with the head. It's a tame one, easy for Ramsdale as the referee blows for half-time. Into Caicedo. I'm going to try and fire a ball right the way over to the right-hand side to Reece James. Nice ball headed down well into the path of Raheem Sterling. Enzo Fernandez back to Sterling. Lovely build-up play. Tries to cut it back across into Sanset. Oh, it's well blocked. Madueke to pick it up on the edge of the box after a Sterling corner. Back out to Sterling. He's going to throw it back in. This time looking for Sanset again, and he balloons his header over the bar. Zinchenko. Nice pass. Just cut through the lines into Saka. Gabby Jesus is surely going to look for Martinelli out wide. He does eventually find him, Martinelli, though, tries to go past Reece James. Good defending from the Chelsea man. And now we can try and bring the ball out of defence. And we have just cut through the Arsenal lines here. Wonderful stuff. Now Reece James has it on the right side. Cuts back in for Enzo Fernandez. I was trying to find a ball through to Nkunku. And it was an ambitious one, but it didn't quite meet the right target. Jorginho, former Chelsea man, into Declan Rice. They're just playing it about inside their own half here. We are pressing them, and they haven't yet been able to beat our press, but Jorginho now has it. He does eventually manage to find Gabby Jesus. He finds Martinelli, looking for an overlapping run of the left back, but instead decides to go it alone himself, and now cuts back inside. He sends Reece James all over the place, who then eventually manages to come across and put in a wonderful challenge. And now Nkunku is released, and he's just turned the defender, and Nkunku now is going to drive into the box here. He's got the beating of Saliba for pace, and Nkunku, a deft finish, and he gives us a 2-0 lead. Beautifully done, and look at the celebration from him. What a fabulous goal from the Frenchman. Well, it was all about the turn and the pace and the tenacity to get away from the Arsenal defence, and Saliba just had no answers. And look at that. If you want a cool, calm and composed finish, that is exactly what you would picture in your head. Gave the keeper no chance, into the bottom left-hand corner. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0. And so, after what has been an action-packed return to the starting 11, Madueke will go off, and he will be replaced by Sancho. Mudryk skipping away from several challenges and finds Nicholas Jackson. He's going to try and look for Maatsen, who's all alone on the left-hand side. Maatsen strikes. Oh, got it all wrong. Thomas Partey into the feet of Gabby Jesus. He goes out to the right-hand side to Saka, and has he got the beating of Maatsen for pace? He doesn't, but he's got the trickery beating of him, and instead it is Caicedo who comes across wonderfully to make the challenge. We bring it out of defence with Sancho as the referee blows for full time. Well, that was a hard-fought victory, but one that I am absolutely delighted about. It is exactly what the doctor ordered, and just what we needed to get ourselves back on track in the Premier League. Full time here at the Emirates, it finishes Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And after keeping another clean sheet against Arsenal, Diogo Costa has again established himself as the clean sheet leader in the Premier League. 11 clean sheets in 28 games and only 27 goals conceded. What a signing that man has been since joining Chelsea in the summer. And speaking of new signings, the return to the starting 11 of this man, Noni Madueke, felt like a new signing. A brilliant man to have back in my starting 11, and it was a pretty decent performance from the Englishman. And with him back, and now unfortunately Jadon Sancho having to drop to the bench with his return, it does mean that there is no room for complacency anymore for this young Englishman. And the same for Mudryk, who just has to step it up even more and try and see if he can establish himself in our starting 11 and really show the Chelsea fans that he does have that something special. And whilst that win doesn't manage to claw us above Spurs into second place, and it still leaves us just 5 points behind Liverpool, it does give us some much needed momentum heading into a game that is going to be a make or break game for our title aspirations. That is right, because as I face the media and try and rally the troops, reiterating the commitment and the desire we have, and the fact that I have absolutely no doubt in my team that we can achieve our goals this season, we are heading back to Stamford Bridge to face off against our arch rivals Tottenham and our title challengers in a game that neither team can afford to lose, and if we do end up losing it, our title fight will certainly be over. Ahead of the game, though, I have had to make a few changes to my usual starting 11 due to a little bit of fatigue creeping in, and that is the likes of Gusto and Maatsen coming into the starting 11 at the back, and Baumgartner replaces Enzo Fernandez in the centre of midfield. Ben Davies, a nice ball cutting through the lines into Ben Yedder. Basuma picks it up, and Basuma, the central defensive midfielder, is in the most advanced position. My word, he almost put Spurs 1-0 up inside the opening 7 minutes. Looks like Son's going to take the corner, and it looks like he's going to go short. Spurs have started off this game far better than we have. We've fallen asleep here as Kulusevski out-muscles Sterling. Now Romero has it on the box. He drives past my defence, and the centre-back smashes one into the top left-hand corner to give Spurs the lead inside 10 minutes here. What on earth is happening? We've completely fallen asleep. Two defensive players in Basuma and Romero have just waltzed past my defence. And this time it is Romero who manages to get the better of Diogo Costa, smashes it into the back of the net. Spurs take an early lead. Kulusevski for Spurs, trying to go past Badiashile, instead cuts it back. And now Ben Yedder has it. He's challenged by Fofana, and now we can try and bring the ball out of defence. Sunset being hassled and harassed, but he manages to wriggle away from two Tottenham challenges. Feeds it into Nkunku. He drops back. Lovely footwork. Tried to play it into Sunset. Does. Into Baumgartner. What a save from Vicario. Oh, we should have scored there. That was a bigger let-off for Spurs, and we've just got to hope that that doesn't come back to bite us come the end of the game as Ben Yedder picks it up. Surely he will try and get rid of the ball. Instead he gives it to Romero. Cool, calm and collected, and Spurs get it clear. Pedro Porro, well challenged by Caicedo. And Caicedo now is going to try and feed this down the left-hand side into Madueke. Lovely stuff. Madueke now into Nkunku. And Nkunku into the box with his left eye. He's put it wide. Well, how on earth did he miss that? And Nkunku, the man who you would want in that position at the right time, got it all wrong. What on earth is happening today? Into Pedro Porro. Every single player, barring the Tottenham goalkeeper, is in the Chelsea half here. As Spurs look to try and add a second to try and consolidate their lead. They've managed to work it into the box. Oh my word, Ben Yedder gets it all wrong. Oh my word, I thought he was just going to creep that one over Diogo Costa. And eventually we just managed to bundle it out for a corner. Let's look at the replay here. Ben Yedder just tried to dink that over. And Diogo Costa got in all sorts of trouble. We were fortunate enough not to give away a penalty. It's a Spurs corner. And Nkunku into Sterling. Sterling now surely is going to try and find a ball forward. He does, into the path of Madueke, and he will be desperate to score against his former employers, Tottenham. What a strike, what a save. Sterling will take the resulting corner. End-to-end stuff here in the first half at Stamford Bridge, and it's cleared off the line. Brilliant save again from Vicario at half-time. Well, Spurs are going to take the kick-off here at the start of the second half. We have 45 minutes to try and get ourselves back into this game, because if we lose it, our title ambitions are well and truly over this season. Benson Core into Ben Yedder. Nice stuff into Basuma. Basuma out to an unmarked Heung-min Son. He cuts back inside. Nice turning. And he still manages to drive past my defence. What on earth are we doing? We're completely asleep. He fires it into the back post. And it's an easy one in the end for Costa to hold on to. Spurs have a free kick here, which Heung-min Son is going to take, and it's in a very dangerous position. He throws it to the edge of the box. Benton Core wins the head. Kulusevski, it's bouncing around all over the place, and fortunately enough, the referee blows for offside. Let's take a look at the replay. It's thrown in, and it is both Kulusevski and Romero and Yves Basuma on the right-hand side who are both off. And we get away with one there. Pedro Porro into Højbjerg. Spurs have started this second half far better off than we have. And now it's a ball into the path of Ben Yedder. What a save! That is exactly why Diogo Costa is having a fabulous season this year. Basuma into Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder has got acres of space to drive into here, but instead he cuts back for Yves Basuma. Lovely ball though into the path of Benton Core. He skipped around the challenge and he releases Ben Yedder, who's in and makes it 2-0 Tottenham. Well, there can be no denying that they've just been the better team in this whole game, especially in the second half. And this time there is nothing that Diogo Costa could do to stop a Ben Yedder shot. They opened us up at will, and they've given themselves a 2-goal cushion. It's 2-0 here. Fafana to try and bring this one out of defence. We've got to see if we can do anything here to try and get ourselves at least back in this game somehow. Sunset, though, runs into trouble, and Spurs go again. We've just been so poor, and that has really been the story of all the big games so far this season. We've just been poor in all of them, and Kulusevski now drives into the box, looking to put the icing on the cake for Spurs. Lovely track back into Maddison. What a one-handed save from Costa. Kulusevski will take the corner, and it looks like someone, Maddison perhaps, is going to offer a short option. Mudryk on as a substitute, tried to put a challenge in, wasn't strong enough. This time it is Nicholas Jackson, another substitute, whose challenge is strong enough, and he can now try and go down this right-hand side. He hasn't got the beating of the Tottenham Hotspur defence, and ends up just running into trouble as no one was offering any sort of options, and that has pretty much been the story of this entire game for us. Into Badiashile. Sancho's come into the centre to try and get hold of the ball. Enzo Fernandez, I'm going to try and feed Gusto down the right-hand side. Picks it up well, fires it across, looking for someone at the back post. Found Sancho, who found absolutely nothing with his first touch. The referee blows for full time. The Spurs fans celebrate, and we have gone and thrown our title chances in the bin. The Spurs players celebrate because they know how important that victory was. As at full time here at Stamford Bridge, it finishes Chelsea 0, Spurs 2. Well, it was a really disappointing result and a really disappointing end to put what is more than likely going to be the final nail in our title fight challenge. The lads worked hard out there, but the problem was it was just that Spurs have excellent players, and we just didn't make the right decisions today in front of goal. Perhaps we lacked a little bit of self-belief. We worked hard for each other, but unfortunately we just didn't create enough chances to make a proper game of it. And with that win lifting Spurs 4 points now ahead of us in the Premier League, and Liverpool still being 5 points clear with a game in hand, it now looks like we are going to be looking more over the back of our shoulders to try and see if we can hold on to these Champions League places. And as luck would have it, it's the very team that are chasing us for the final Champions League spot in Manchester United who is the team that we are going to be welcoming up next at Stamford Bridge. It's another huge game, and it's another one that we cannot afford to lose. It is Chelsea, Manchester United, and it's up next. To Enzo Fernandez in the centre of the park. A lovely touch and turn to get away from two Manchester United midfielders. I'm going to try and cut this one back in. It was well intercepted by Martinez, as United played around rather dangerously inside their box there, but they just about managed to wriggle away from the challenge of Raheem Sterling. Correa for United. He was the man who completely tore me apart the last time I played United, and the last time I lost to them 4-1 at Old Trafford. We are definitely going to be hoping that we get a better result this time around. Rashford has come into the centre of the park, but given the ball away to Enzo Fernandez. He finds Nkunku, and Nkunku's going to try and release Reece James down this right-hand side. Reece James, powerful run, tries to float it back into the box. Well headed away by Dalot. Amrabat, a nice reverse pass around the corner into Correa, who's picked up a wonderful pass into Marcus Rashford. He drives down the left-hand side. Reece James comes across, United corner. And it's one that Antony's going to take, and it looks like he's going to take it short. He does, into the path of that man Correa, the danger man, and the one that I really have to look out for here today is Bruno Fernandes lines up a shot, and Diogo Costa just gets a hand to it. Second corner of the game, and it's the second one that will go to Manchester United, and they will go short for a second time. Antony being held up by Sterling, but not held up enough. Sterling, though, tussling, giving away a foul. And it's a free kick that Fernandes will take. He'll try and float this one into the box. It's a good head. Caicedo tries to get his head on it. Madueke headed away. Sterling doesn't get it far enough. Smashed at Disasi. And Diogo Costa with a huge save. Antony for United plays it back to Dalot. Dalot into Eriksen. It's been all Manchester United so far. Antony. Oh, Disasi almost gave away a penalty there. Correa has it. It's well saved. Reece James with a big head. And my word, if he didn't get his head on that one, we would have found ourselves 1-0 down. But now we release Raheem Sterling. And Sterling's going to release Nkunku, who has just about managed to stay onside. And Nkunku into the box. Finds Sterling. What a save. My goodness, this is end-to-end stuff here from two teams who are absolutely desperate, in need of a win here. Headed away, out to Madueke, back out to Sterling. Sterling cuts back in, looking for Madueke again. He will try and line up a shot with his right. Gets it wrong, wide. Back into the path of Luke Shaw. Danced around the challenge of Raheem Sterling, and United still have it inside my half, but Enzo Fernandez with a brilliant challenge here, and he's looking for some sort of option, and it's a wonderful ball into the path of Nkunku. Nkunku, surely he does put us into the lead at Stamford Bridge. Cool, calm, composed, and exactly the type of finish I would expect from the Frenchman. A wonderful ball from Enzo Fernandez, showing his quality and showing why he's back in the starting 11, and a fabulous finish from Nkunku. Gave Onana no chance and gave us a much needed 1-0 lead here at Stamford Bridge. Enzo Fernandez into Nkunku. Reverse ball back into the path of Enzo Fernandez. We've cut United open here. Enzo Fernandez across. It was the wrong choice. The wrong choice of pass completely. And that is a huge opportunity for us that goes begging. Bruno Fernandes now for Manchester United. This is turning into a real end-to-end scrap here. Correa bursts into the box. Is he held up? He is by Fofana. Brilliant piece of defending, but then he goes and gives the ball away. And Chilwell into Caicedo. Caicedo turns into Madueke. He's going to look for the overlapping run. What a pass into Ben Chilwell. Absolutely fabulous. And Nkunku back into Chilwell. What a save from Onana. Another wonderful piece of build-up play. And another chance that goes begging. Disasi into Caicedo. Caicedo into Chilwell. Chilwell into Nkunku. Nkunku into Madueke. Madueke into the box to strike with his left. Gets it wrong. Into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. It's a wicked run from the Portuguese man to lay it off to Correa, but he ends up going backwards. The momentum of the attack was almost dead, but Correa has picked it back up again, fires it into the box. Big head from Rashford wide. Disasi into Maatsen. We've got about 10 minutes remaining on the clock here to keep hold of this 1-0 victory, as it doesn't really look like we're anywhere close to adding a second. Antony, though, picks it up for United. Correa now has it. They are in the ascendancy as they are desperate to try and get an equaliser, as Mudryk almost got it away from the defence, but United were quick to react, and Eriksen, the danger man, picks up the ball into Correa. Correa strikes from distance wide, and much to my players' delight, fortunately enough for us, that did end up being the last attack of the game. A massive game here at Stamford Bridge, and a massive result. Don't I just know it? I salute the crowd. I thank them for their support, but it is that man, Christopher Nkunku, who once again has come to our rescue with a fabulous goal to be the differentiator between the two teams, as at full time it finishes Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. It's a huge victory, and one that not only does wonders for our club morale, but also for our position in the Premier League. United have dropped down to 5th, and we have asserted a 7-point lead against their Manchester rivals, Manchester City, and we looked like we were in a commanding place to secure Champions League football for next season. And after beating Sheffield United 3-1 away from home and absolutely demolishing Everton 3-0 at Stamford Bridge, drawing 0-0 away from home against Brighton, with just 4 games remaining in the Premier League, we have built up an 8-point lead ahead of Manchester City in 4th place and a 10-point lead ahead of Manchester United in 5th, meaning that as we head on over to Villa Park to face off against Aston Villa, if we manage to get 3 points on the board today, we will secure Champions League football for next season and get Chelsea back to Europe's elite. It's going to be Matty Cash with the throw. He finds Dendoncker, who finds a pass back into Matty Cash. He's being chased down by Mudryk, who manages to get a start here ahead of both Jadon Sancho and Madueke, and he's done the right job there as he's defended well, and we get the ball clear. Reece James into Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez tried to play it back into Reece James, but got caught cold in possession and gave the ball away really cheaply. Now Villa can try and burst down this left-hand side with Jacob Ramsey. He tries to run past Reece James, can't. Finds Tammy Abraham, the former Chelsea man, now plying his trade presumably at Aston Villa. He now gives it away, and Enzo Fernandez gets in all sorts of trouble, bursts into our own player. Tammy Abraham has it again. Oh, how much he would love to score against his former employers, but instead Matty Cash has it straight at Costa. Aston Villa corner. And it's going to be Buendia who's going to take the corner here. They do have a short option, and it's one that they take advantage of. Ramsey now throws it into the box. What a head from Abraham, and what a save from the goalkeeper. I think he just got a touch on it and hit the crossbar, but Buendia has it again. He's held up, and this time it's a clumsy challenge from Badiashile, and it's another penalty that we've given away this season. Well, let's have a look at the replay. No, he can't have any complaints. A real clumsy challenge. I know, in fact, it was a clumsy challenge, and it's a silly penalty to give away. And Aston Villa now have a wonderful opportunity on the 25th minute to try and get themselves ahead. And of course it is going to be that man, Tammy Abraham, to step up and take the shot against his former employers, sticks his new employers, Aston Villa, into the lead here in Villa Park. It was a fabulous penalty. He gave Diogo Costa no chance. He went the right way, but there was just too much power on it. He looks to the skies. 1-0 Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins for Villa into Dendoncker. Villa are in the ascendancy. They're far better than we are so far in this game. Reece James, though, with a good interception, plays it down the line into Sterling, and now he has space to run into here, and Sterling has the pace to get away from the left back into the box, cuts it back. Wonderful stuff. Sunset blocked off by the defender. A fabulous interception. What a block. Otherwise, it would have certainly been back on level terms. Chilwell chasing down Matty Cash, but he's got the pace to get away from the Englishman, and now he continues his run down the right-hand side. Chilwell frantically trying to get back. He fires it into the box. Brilliant cross into Ramsey. Wide. Ben Chilwell into Mudryk. Mudryk now gets hold of the ball. I'm going to try and look for the overlapping run of Ben Chilwell, and I do find it. Chilwell now plays it into Nkunku. He turns wonderfully, and Nkunku, what a save. How on earth he didn't bury that one in the top right-hand corner, I will never know. A fabulous save from Martinez, and now we have an opportunity to get them on the corner. And in the end, we get it all wrong as Fofana sends it high and wide. And as the second half begins, we have 45 minutes to try and get ourselves back into this game, because if we do, we will secure Champions League football, and it will take a huge weight off of my shoulders, as that will match the board expectations for this season. But so far, we are making a real big issue of it today as Mudryk again comes back. Good defensive play from the Ukrainian, and now he can try and release us as Ben Chilwell tries to go down the left-hand side. Doesn't have too many options. Instead, I'm just going to take it by himself. Goes all the way here, and he just continues. Floats it into the box. Look for Sterling with the overhead kick. Sends it wide. Sterling can't believe it. Alex Moreno skips away from the challenge of Enzo Fernandez, who's been pretty quiet today. He's desperately trying to get the ball back, though. Continues his press high, but Aston Villa have beaten that very press. And Jacob Ramsey has managed to get away from Reece James. Fofana's trying to track him. Can Fofana win the ball? He can, but gives away a corner in the process. 60 minutes in here, and out of the two teams, I've got to be honest, it looks like Aston Villa are the more likely to get a second rather than us scoring one. And it's a brilliant head from Tammy Abraham. Unfortunately enough, Diogo Costa was alert to it. Into Kamara. Nice pass into Abraham. Ollie Watkins now being chased down by Badiashile. Can't seem to get the ball off Aston Villa. Wonderful pass into Tammy Abraham. Abraham isn't held up enough. Diogo Costa with another big save. The ball is loose though. Ramsey strikes another one from Costa. Buendia will take the corner for Aston Villa. Fires it into the near post. It's headed away by the substitute Sancho. Not headed away far enough though. Carlos plays it into the path of Buendia, but it ends up running out of play for a Chelsea goal kick into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins chased down by Badiashile. Again, we cannot seem to do enough to win the ball back. Tammy Abraham this time, it's his second goal of the game. It's Aston Villa's second, and he has put a knife right through the hearts of the Chelsea fans. Wonderful build-up play yet again, and yet again it is Tammy Abraham, this time with a fabulous finish, low and hard, past Diogo Costa. And Aston Villa lead 2-0. Well, it's pretty much been the story of this season for us so far. We get one decent win, and then it completely falls apart in the very next game as Diaby makes an absolute mockery of my defence and of Diogo Costa. We've completely fallen asleep. Our heads have dropped. It's 3-0. Well, they absolutely carved through us like a knife through butter. What on earth was Gusto doing? I do not know. And it's just a pass into the back of the net. Surely Diogo Costa should be doing better there. I mean, it's a terrible piece of goalkeeping from the goalkeeper who's been sensational all season. I'm disgusted. It's 3-0 Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins into Tammy Abraham. Things have completely fallen apart here. Tammy Abraham goes past two of my defenders. This time Costa to the rescue. What on earth is going on here? Madueke on as a substitute, picks up the ball and loses it just as quickly. And Diaby now, speaking of quickly, absolutely terrorises Fofana. And look at that, he's strutting his stuff, Moreno. Aston Villa just not even taking this seriously anymore. It's going to be Tielemans who's going to take the corner. Aston Villa looking for a fourth. It's thrown in to the back post. Caicedo heads it away. Another Villa corner. Diaby this time will take it. They're not even offering short this time. They throw it back in. Sancho heads it away. Only out as far as Madueke. Again, it's another Villa corner. Well, this is just depressing here in stoppage time. Villa have just got us hemmed inside our own box. Headed away from Matson. Tielemans picks it back up into Diaby. He's just going to take it to the corner flag. Matson manages to win the ball back from him. Referee, blow the whistle. He does. And he puts us out of our misery. Well, when the pressure was on, we completely fell apart. An abysmal performance from the Chelsea players. That man, Tammy Abraham, absolutely delighted with his performance. 2 goals and showed why it was the wrong decision for Chelsea to sell him in the first place. Full time here at Villa Park, it finishes Villa 3, Chelsea 0. Fortunately enough though, after following up the Aston Villa game with another couple of disappointing results, including a 2-2 draw against West Ham and a 1-0 loss against Nottingham Forest, we do eventually manage to get back in the win column with a 2-1 win against Bournemouth, meaning that we finish up in 3rd place in the Premier League. We qualify for the Champions League next season, and we leave the board very happy, having accomplished one of their key objectives. It's no surprise to see Christopher Nkunku rounding off the season being our top goal scorer with 21 goals in 35 appearances, 20 of those coming in the Premier League. And Oyhan Sanset had a fabulous second half of the season, racking up 11 goals and 5 assists in a fabulous debut campaign in a Chelsea shirt. Nicholas Jackson will be happy with his overall performances, as despite not really featuring too often for my starting 11, he did manage to pick up 8 goals in the end. And Jadon Sancho, actually, in spite of all the criticism that I gave him all season, it seems like the return of Madueke to full fitness really seemed to light a fire under him, as he managed to achieve 7 goals and 9 assists, being my most productive winger this season. However, with there still being several areas of the squad that are in need of improvement, and with the hope that with Champions League football next season the board will deliver a Champions League size transfer budget, I think things are going to get quite interesting heading into Season 2. But that is it for the end of the episode today. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.